If you've used an idea for over 40 years and it's been working, and by working I mean the clients have been getting the outcome they want and I've been getting the income I want, then it's definitely worth knowing what it is and how to put it into practice. And that's what we're going to do right now. Hi there, my name is Peter Thomson. I'm the UK's most prolific information product creator. And I've been in business now for over 40 years, originally in what you might call mainstream business, and then over the last 27 years, helping coaches, consultants, speakers and trainers build for themselves businesses of choice, and as a result of that, lives of choice. This idea has been so powerful for me over so many years and has enabled me to build a variety of businesses. Let me take you back over 40 years ago to when I first started using this idea. I was a private investigator. And apart from all the juicy bits of being a private investigator, like bugging and debugging and surveillance and all sorts of other stuff that I used to do, which I'll share with you over a coffee one day, one of the main parts of my business was tracing absconded debtors. And from the time I started in business until just 2 years after that, I'd managed to build the business where we were being asked to trace over 4,000 people per month. Many of those people were individuals who run away with their televisions or owing money to various companies. But a lot of my business was in the shopkeeper market, where I was dealing with suppliers to shopkeepers, people who sold chocolate and tobacco and biscuits and pop and things like that. So this had to be a business whereby I could compete in the marketplace. And the way that I did that and the way that I built the business so quickly, and I have used this idea ever since, is by risk reversal. By offering a service whereby there was no risk whatsoever for my clients. Let me explain how I first used it and how I use it today. And then as we get to the end of this video, I'm going to share an idea where you can use it without being too much at risk. In fact, I know you'll use it in that way. So going back all those over 40 years ago, the way that it worked was this. I would approach people like Cadbury's, before it was even Cadbury Schweppes, Carreras Rothman, tobacco companies, sweet companies, pop companies, all sorts of different companies. And the offer I would make to them, so this was total risk reversal, was that if I were able to find the person they wanted me to find, it would be somebody who owed them money for sure, I would charge them. If I wasn't able to find them, I would charge them nothing whatsoever. So it was a contingency basis. It was total risk reversal. There was no downside for them whatsoever. And in fact, the way that I built the business quickly was by saying to people like that, companies like that, or the people working in those companies, look, why don't you send me the cases that you've already sent to other people who weren't able to find those people and may have charged you even to do that. Send them to me even if they haven't been able to find them. And then if I can find them, then surely that's proof to you that I'm better at doing this. And so I would expect to get more business from you. So it was well set up. And of course, the system I had to trace absconded debtors worked. I knew what we were doing, had a cracking team of people that I built up over that period who worked with me. So that was offering risk reversal. Now, I was able to do some of the work when I was paid, whether I found them or not, but that was based on the trust I'd built because of the risk reversal. Now, how can you use this in business? Well, there's a number of different ways, isn't there? Firstly, we can offer a guarantee. And the guarantee can either be that we do the work or that we're guaranteeing the outcome that the client gets. Those are two different types of guarantee. The way that I do it in my business now is that I explain to people that we will do the first chunk of the work on a total risk reversal basis so that the client knows that they are going to achieve the outcome they want. So, for example, with my private client work, a client will have their first meeting with me. If they don't feel at the end of that first meeting that they've received at least 10 times in value that they're going to get compared to what they've paid me, 10 times that, then I would be quite happy to not charge for that particular session that I had with them. You could do that as well. Or it could well be that you're offering, for example, one of your products, maybe an online product or an offline product, where you're saying to somebody they can try it. Let me give you an example. When I was first promoting my Achievers Edge audio newsletter, I would say to people in our marketing that they could have 3 issues of the Achievers Edge all in one go, by the way. I wouldn't send them over the 3-month period as a monthly program. They could have it all in one go, and they would only pay for the postage and packaging, which was £2.97 was what we used to charge for it. So it was absolutely minimal risk on their part, £2.97. And then I would say to them what they could do is they could try those 3 free issues for no cost for that, and decide for themselves if they wanted to stay. Then 1 month later, the payment for a membership would start. Now, here's the deal when you do this type of stuff. We have to know the numbers, don't we? So we've got to know what our potential retention rate is in that first, say, month, if we were doing this with a program, a subscription program, and we've got to know our longer term retention rate, and we've got to know our lifetime values. So once we've got those types of numbers in our business, we understand the retention rate, the conversion rates, the lifetime value, and all the other parts about the business, then we can make this strategy work. So for example, when we were sending out the first 3 months for a charge of just £2.97, which by the way, I would refund if somebody wanted me to, then I know that my retention past the first month was 89%. I would lose 11% of people who would try it because that's what it was all about. And then they'd either decide they didn't like it, they didn't like me, they didn't like the content, they didn't want to go on with the continued price, which wasn't expensive in those days, to say the least. This is over 20 years ago, and we're talking £10 a month. So they didn't want to pay that, whatever it might be. But by giving people the opportunity on risk reversal, on a guarantee that they can cancel if they don't like it, we'll get more people, I've found, to try it in the first place, which more than offsets whatever cost it might be to send a product if it was a physical product and get it back or lose it or whatever happens. So I think that you could definitely take this idea away and use it. So how can you use it in the way that it minimizes the risk to you but maximizes the risk reversal for the client? Well, here's my suggestion. Rather than saying, I will give you the money back if you were doing some work for that client as a coach or a consultant or a speaker, then rather than say, look, you pay me X and I'll give you X back if it doesn't work, you could say this instead. And I've used this, by the way. You can say, I will come back and do what I've done again and again and again until you do get the outcome that we've agreed. Now, in order to work any risk reversal, whether it's that version of it or whether it is give the money back, for example, or don't pay me till you get the result, in any of these things, we have to draw the lines in the sand very, very carefully, don't we? So we've got to agree where we're starting from. We've got to agree where we're getting to, absolute clarity on this. And then we've got to agree that I do this and you do that. Or in other words, I do this and the client does the other bit. So we're really clear on what we've committed to. So if you're going to offer risk reversal, or you're going to offer a guarantee, whether it's money back guarantee, whether it's a risk-free period, or whether it's risk reversal, which any version of those that you're going to use, I would urge you to make it crystal clear what is the detail of this so that everybody understands and we're all on the same page. I have had it happen with the Achievers Edge when we were offering the 3 free issues, and then a month later we would charge the credit card. I've had people come back and say, I didn't realise this was an ongoing program and you were going to charge me. I thought I was just getting this stuff free. That's a bit difficult to believe, really. But again, it was crystal clear on the web page, on the direct mail. Every time we did it was absolutely crystal clear. It was never hidden away. But despite that, you will get some people who come back and say, oh, I didn't realise. So I would urge you to make sure that the details are agreed and signed off. Certainly, using risk reversal over the 40 plus years I've been in business has been one of the major ways that I've been able to get people to try the various products and services that I've supplied over all that period. I still do it today. I did it then, and I would urge you to do it as well. If you've got any comments at all about risk reversal or guarantees, you'd like me to answer any questions about it, just pop it all down there and I'll happily engage in a dialogue with you. And in the meantime, I continue to wish you every success in getting freedom from anything that may have held you back and freedom to be, do and have whatever you set your heart and mind on as you build for yourself a business and a life of total choice. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye for now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Then click to watch the next video. Remember to visit our website at peterthomson.com and download your free copy of my latest book, How to Write Your Business Book in 5 Days or Less. Until next time, every success.